Hello, it's Anna here from Paper Craft Create. In this video today, I'm going to be showing you how I put together a Hexagon pop-up card. It's a cute sort of card and a variation on some other Hexagon style pop-up cards you've probably seen about. This is not my original idea or design. I have actually done a few modifications and made a little different to one that I've seen that Sam from Mixed Up Crafts has put together, and I believe is her design. So I will put a link to her video that I was inspired by, and with making this particular card I'll also be using a bonus from Kendra's card challenges. So when you become a member, a Patreon member with Kendra, this helps her to keep her challenges free and gives you a little bit of extra bang for your buck. You get all these little bonuses. This particular bonus was January's bonus, and it was some digital papers and some digital ephemera. So I'm going to do a nice cute little Valentine's Day card for my beloved. So I'll put one together and just show you how easy, quick and simple. When I saw this card I thought, oh, I'll have to give it a go. So what I have done is a few different measurements and use a die cut as a main centerpiece, which you'll see in a moment. So without further ado, I'll get moving along. So first of all, not many bits and pieces you need for this card, but you sort of need a centerpiece, which in her video I think she made the card a finished card, a 5x7 card. So her center bit was I think it was 3.5 wide by 7 high. So I've actually made this a little bit different. So I really want to use this set of one of these arches from my nested arch sets. So these are 3 3/8, so just a little shy of 3.5 inches, and it's about 5 inches high, or just below 5 inches high. So this will ideally be sort of around a 5x5 sort of square style card once it's done. So you need one centerpiece. Then what you need is a 10.5 by 2. Now this is I think with Sam's card it was a 2.5 height panel, and then what you will need to do is some scoring, and that will be on the 10.5 side. You'll have 1 3/4, 3 1/4, 5, 6 3/4, 8 1/4, and 10, and that will be that piece there. Then you have 2 other pieces. Now these 2 pieces will be folded into a spring, which actually makes the card sort of spring out once you pull it out of the envelope and stay upright. So it's something a little bit different to some of the other cards that have been around. This one here I've kept the same, which is 9.5 inches by 1.5, and then there's some score lines down the long side of this. So 1.5, 2 1/4, 3, 3 3/4, 4.5, 6, 6 3/4, 7.5, and 8 1/4, and then 9. And that's done for both of those 2 pieces. What I have done in this last little bit is just taken off a little bit of the edges, so when you sort of fold it into itself it will all work well. I will in fact do that with this one here. So just on the little tab you'll just take a snip out, and that's just so when you're closing it up it gives you a nicer finish rather than the edges popping out. So what I will do is I will move my scoreboard and start putting this card together. Okay, so first of all we're putting the base together. So it's basically all mountain folds. So you just need to fold and burnish those. Now at this stage I'm not going to go with a heavy burnish, but I'll just because this will be opening and closing. Okay, put a little bit of glue on that one. with these types of cards, glue or a really heavy duty adhesive, like a double-sided adhesive, is needed, just because there are mechanisms that move and pop around. Okay, so that's one bit done. We'll just leave that to dry. Now with these bits here, there'll be two separate bits. Now I'll have to remember how this goes, but it's a mountain fold, a valley, mountain, valley, mountain, and then mountain, valley, mountain, valley, mountain. So basically what you'll do is you'll be pushing these together and making them. Now you don't want to overscore these, because you do want a little bit of spring back in them, so just a gentle fold with those ones there, not such a hard score. Oops, doing a very bad job of this. Okay, so basically I'll just marry that up as best as I can. I'm doing a terrible job here, but nevertheless you get the picture. Okay, great. So we want to do the same. So mountain, valley, mountain, valley, mountain, mountain, valley, mountain, valley, mountain. So what you'll do is you'll be able to see how that all works once you sort of fold them together and making them a couple of times. But I just can't believe how easy this card is. Such a simple idea, and just seems to look and work so well. And it's a lot less fiddly than some of those other ones. So that's what you'll end up with, is two of those ones there. Now we just need to, and what I might do is, before I put it all together, is just put up some panels. So basically what you're doing is you're just making, you know, whatever size you decide to do your panels, you're basically just taking off 1/4 of an inch all round, so that you can mat your layers. What I'm going to do is, so I think with this one here then, these ones ended up, so these little pieces are a little shorter, so it was 1 1/4 by 1 3/4, and then this bigger, so there'll be 4 of these and 2 of these. Once again, obviously 1 3/4, but that one there will be 1 1/2 wide. So I will just put some glue on these. Alright, so the last thing to be done will be the matting this, what's it called, this arched piece. So I've got a few bits and pieces here. So basically this one here, so this is one of my favourite Australian companies, Uniquely Creative, with one of their mini sets that I subscribe to. As a little add-on, you could purchase this, but they obviously just sell it as part of a separate die set. But it is a nest of arches, and then it has an outer layer there, so you could make window cards, or you could use the arches as you see. And also they work great when you want to mat a few bits and pieces, so that's come in handy, and I thought this would look lovely as an arched feature to this card. It just adds a little bit of extra detail. Alright, okay, so this is all great. So as I was saying, this is the paper that I used. This was the digital paper that was part of the bonus for the Kendra's card, or Kendra's cards by Kendra, sorry. Part of her free bonus when you become a member of her Patreon. So these are 2 of the papers. There was, well, I think, I don't know, like 6 or 7 or 8 of them, and there was a nice lot of coordinating papers. I just went with something a little less busy. Some of them a bit more busy, but you know, if you wanted to do your set of cards, she did a whole theme so that you could make 15 Valentine's cards. But these are some of the ephemera, so I've just used some of my dies to cut these out, and then I just fussy cut this one here, so I'll use those within this card too. So I think now what we might be best to do is to put all of this together so that we can start decorating it. There's a couple of ways you can organise this. You can either just put glue on this and stick it in on this middle one and do that both sides and then attach this one here. However, I think I will put them onto here and then attach the whole lot into one. I think that might be a little easier. So what I'm going to do is I'll just put a bit of glue. However, when I was just sampling this, what I did notice that you've got to pretty much line them up, otherwise it will be a little wonky. So this has to go just near the bottom there, and just try to center that as best as you can. And once you've got that sort of centered, we just need to do exactly the same on the reverse side. So this will all be hidden just inside there. Alright, perfect. So what I'll do, oops, I'll put a bit of glue on this other one. Now I'm just going to just sort of marry that up, so making sure that that is completely, oops, even here. So even if it's slightly off, it doesn't matter, it's just that when it pops up it'll sort of sit properly in there. So now what we can do is we can put our glue on here. Yep, it's very poppy, so okay, so I've just put glue on both of those, and what I'll do is I'm going to just bring these in as best as I can. Put that in, and that'll just fit snug in that middle panel on both sides. So you just want to adjust that, and that just needs to be, as you can see, just sort of flush with the bottom there. I'll just push that down. Yep. Yeah, as you, oh, everything's flying all over the place. As you can see, that pops up really quite well. So then what you do is you just get some sort of like maybe a heavier weight acetate, and then you can just decorate this however you see fit. So just on these bits here you can put all your little bits and pieces. Now I thought that I might actually put that on the front. I think that'll look quite cute. And then I thought I might do some little bits sticking out here and there. So what I'm going to do is just attach all of these. So just putting a little bit of, oops, oh God, I'm just dropping everything today. A bit of glue. On those. So I tend to make these quite long, and then you can just cut them down once you sort of know where you want them. Otherwise, once they're too short and not the right height, then you're in trouble. So I'll just put all of these here, and then what I did is I've got this heart die which cuts out the negative, if you can say, and I just run that die through a couple of different so it's this one here. It just cuts out, like, you know, you would put that into a piece of paper, and but it just cuts out a whole bunch of hearts. So I thought I'll just embellish with that one there, and that's an Australian company that do their own Simply dies, which is great. So what I think I will do is I'll start that one there. I can probably just could have propped that up even on just some double-sided tape, which I don't have with me right this second. but I will put that down there. And then what I do is I just put a dab of glue on the bottom of that, and then I just cut off the excess. You could obviously cut a whole heap of that off. Just, well, it's a bit awkward, but what I might do is pop this one here. So I can cut a fair bit of that off. That looks about right, and then I'll put this one here. Might just cut that ever so slightly shorter. So I'll put this one on here. Now you can write a little message on the back, or if you wanted you could just put in a little message in the envelope with the card, but it would be nice to so just taking care of, you know, realizing where you're, you know, what size envelope you're going to use, but you could always make your own envelope as to how far these pop out the sides, but you know, you could just sort of do it as you see fit. I'll put this one here over here so it gives a bit of depth. Okay, so unfortunately my camera stopped going. I think my battery ran flat, so I've just changed that over, so hopefully we'll get through the rest of it. So basically I've just fitted those through in, so you can just sort of scatter them around through on the actual, well, it might be easier to, or maybe not, but just sort of attach them to the bits of the spring in there, and just, it, you know, pop them on different ones so it gives it a bit of depth. So the last couple of things I'll do is I will put on my sentiment on the front here, which I'll just stick on. So I'll only be attaching glue obviously to that middle panel, otherwise it won't pop open. So that's it there. And I have now just a number of hearts which I will scatter around and just add those on. So I mean, this card's amazing. It's just, you know, you can just add, you can, you know, make whatever sort of size you know, you want to make it, and you could utilize different sorts of decorative dies for the middle bit there. I thought it was just so fantastic. And so simple, with just, you know, some cardstock, you know, trimmer to cut your paper up, and then you know, not too many other bits and pieces. You know, some of those interactive cards can be a little complicated, but this is quite easy, and obviously just a scoreboard to put that together. So I'm just going to scatter these hearts around. So this is the finished card. It's so cute. So I just scattered on a few hearts just to zhuzh it up a bit. So basically it flattens, goes into your card, and then obviously once you pull it out, it will stay. I've just probably over fluffed it now, but you know, it will stay popped up and beautiful for display. So I'd like to say a big huge thanks to Kendra for the bonus January digital paper and ephemera set, and I hope she likes the way I use this. So she did intend for it to be used in her card sketch, but I thought I'd use it for just something a little bit different, as I only needed one card for my beloved and actually not a whole stack of them. But you know, these certainly will come in handy. The papers aren't necessarily just for Valentine's Day, so I could use them for other things too. So thanks so much for watching. Hope you liked it. If you have any questions or comments, please leave them down below, and until next time, happy crafting.